But again, it's not a matter if I don't have remorse or feel bad that she got hurt, but she's not the victim. She's refusing to accept her responsibility. She tried to call APS on me. She has tried this entire time to ruin my life. I want to move on and be done with it.
Ms. Hooker, good morning. If you'd activate your audio and video, please.
There should be a plea of guilt in the judge's folder for Ms. Hooker,
as well as a no contact order pursuant to that.
All right, Ms. Hooker, there is a statement of defendant on plea of guilty on the charge of assault. I'm going to go over that form with you.
Okay.
Ms. Hooker, it looks like Mr. Stashevsky signed this form for you. Did you give him your authority to do so?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You had sufficient opportunity to go over the form with Mr. Stashevsky?
Yes.
Any questions for me about the form?
No, sir.
No, sir. You understand by pleading guilty to the charge of assault that you give up the constitutional rights set forth in paragraph 5 of the plea form. And you understand in this case, the state's sentence recommendation is for 30 days in custody, the 30 days to be served on electronic home monitoring. And it looks like a 50-hour community service obligation. And then get a mental health evaluation, comply with treatments, and have no contact with Ms. Nancy. You understand those recommendations?
Yes.
And it looks like there was damage to property in this case. Is that right?
No, it's damage to me.
Damage
Okay.
to person
All right.
and property.
I would like to speak if I could, Your Honor.
I will give you a chance in just a few minutes. Thank you for letting me know you're here on this case. And the issue of restitution would be reserved, which means the state could file a petition for restitution during the pendency of the jurisdiction of this case. And if the court orders restitution after hearing, payment of the restitution becomes a condition of the sentence. You understand that, Ms. Hooker?
Yes. He explained all that.
Okay.
When I explained to him that she would need to prove which injury caused what and what so on, and we already discussed all that.
Your statement here indicates that on the 28th of August in Thurston County, it says here you intentionally subjected another person, and that would be Ms. Shorn, I'm guessing, to an offensive touching. And Ms. Shorn found that offensive touching offensive. What that tells me in sort of plain language is that in the course of an argument or disagreement between the two of you, you either hit, punched, shoved Ms. Shorn. Are those facts accurate?
Yes.
I'll find sufficient factual basis for defendant's plea. Find the plea is made knowingly, voluntarily, with full understanding of the consequence. Accordingly, I will accept defendant's plea, enter finding of guilty based on that plea. Spacio, this appears to be the only crime of violence on the record of Ms. Hooker. Is that your understanding?
That's the state's understanding, yes.
Were you the one who made the offer?
I was.
Okay,
Yes.
you want to explain the offer a little bit to me? Your thoughts on it?
So this offer was made in lieu of upfiling it to an assault 2. It was staffed with my supervisor as well. The incident did cause permanent damage to Ms. Shorn. And while it was filed as a gross misdemeanor, the state offered this, and if it was not accepted, then the state was going to upfile it. So the state believes this is a very fair offer for the facts of this case, Your Honor.
So the original charge was assault 2.
The original charge was filed as an assault 4. In the course of the investigation of that assault 4, some more information came to light that the injury
Was substantial.
and
And would warrant an assault 2 charge if the state chose to proceed in that
the
fashion.
state believes so, Your Honor.
Yeah. Committed perjury.
And Ms. Shorn, you wish to say something? Why don't you, if you can make it up here, come stand where Ms. Facio is.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, on August 28th, I was at Winco, and there were some circumstances I was talking to some other people about, And Miss Hooker came at me. I was in a cart, a wheeled cart at the time. She came at me and she shoved me back in the middle of the aisle of the parking lot. And I was always screaming. I was screaming at her, telling her to stop, and she didn't. And so I went to stand up off the walker, and she gave me a full force body blow to the ground. I have lost the use of my right hand. I will not probably ever get that back. And I wear a brace, obviously. And I've had I had numerous bruises, including a bruised tailbone, and I hit my head. And yeah, it's frustrating because I can't even drive by Winco anymore without having some sort of a panic attack. So it's frustrating that this couldn't have gone a little further than what it is right now.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for being here today.
That's not how it happened.
Ms. Hooker, let's make sure it's just you speaking on the microphone, please.
Oh, there's noise in the background. I have to have noise in the background for stuff, so my bad.
All right, Ms. Hooker, anything you would like to say?
I'm not really allowed to say my side, so I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not say because how it played out is not how it played out. I'm being punished because the deputy didn't retain information, video. He committed perjury, and I am suffering the consequences of those actions. The investigation was not done properly. I agreed to these charges just to move on with my life. I have already in my documentations and the stuff from my attorney so that I can file a complaint directly with the sheriff's department because the deputy is the one that failed this. He committed perjury. There's no video evidence, so she can say whatever she wants. How that happened, what she said is incorrect. But I have no way of proving myself. Everything, all the evidence leans in her favor. So I literally accepted these charges to move on with my life.
I'm pretty confident that Mr. Stashevsky, in speaking with you, let you know that one of the things that if you get to sentencing, which we are at, that one of the things the court would be looking for is somebody who expresses regret for their actions and has some sympathy towards the victim in the case.
I felt bad, but she lied. She literally lied. I didn't just walk up to push her. She blocked a private citizen and she harassed them. She followed them from outside. She followed them from the store, crossed behind my car. The deputy was able to articulate in his police report my movement, but neglected the fact that she was following them, yelling at them. This man was begging her to leave him alone. I didn't just walk up to some random person and push her off a cart. The first incident was I pushed the cart by the basket to remove her as an obstruction. She chose to get up and hit me, push me, and then she was the one that lunged at me, tripped over her dog, and fell. But again, there's no video evidence of this because the deputy or sheriff, I don't remember his title. I apologize. I'm not trying to be intentionally rude. I don't remember if it's a deputy or a sheriff. I believe maybe a sheriff. I don't know. But he did not retain the information. My attorney tried to contact him 10 times to talk to him and still never got to talk to the deputy or sheriff. I wish I remembered his title. I apologize. But again, it's not a matter if I don't have remorse or feel bad that she got hurt, but she's not the victim and I'm not the victim. I'm accepting my responsibility. She's refusing to accept her responsibility. She tried to call APS on me. She has tried this entire time to ruin my life. I want to move on and be done with it. I've agreed to the terms. I've agreed to a home monitor for 30 days, which I have to pay for off of my disability. I'm 100% disabled, state disabled. I get Social Security, not Social Security, SSDI. So it's not a matter of not having remorse. It's just a matter of lies and manipulation in this case, and I just want to move on. If I have to accept the charges, I'm accepting the charges and moving on. And I will file my complaint directly with the sheriff's department for his lack of his due diligence and his duties in investigating this case privately. One witness out of Winco employees, to include loss preventions, but one witness favors his storyline, but didn't talk to employees, didn't talk to any of the 20 witnesses that ran to her side because she's crying, which she wasn't. But whatever, it is what it is. I'm not an insensitive person, but I don't like liars and I don't like manipulators. And she's manipulating the situation. And so it is what it is. And I'm sorry if it comes off that I'm not sincere or remorseful. I'm disabled. I have nerve damage. I understand chronic pain issues. Mine goes from my neck down my back, down my right side, down my leg. And I have to have surgery in a month on my neck. And that may not repair that nerve damage. So I understand the permanent damage. But in 3 fingers, when you had an elective surgery, and now I have to have a possible restitution because she may come after me later for restitution because of her. She had 2 elective surgeries on top of each other. She had carpal tunnel surgery plus this surgery, reparative surgery which according to the papers my lawyer showed me, weren't even necessary. She made an elective choice to have these surgeries. And now I'm responsible for them. Fine. I'm not above change. I'm not above taking accountability. I accepted the mental health evaluation. I'm fine with that. I accepted the home monitoring. Fine with that. If these are the consequences because I can't prove my innocence, then it is what it is. But I'm not going to sit here and cry and like, oh, I'm sorry, you hurt yourself. Well, you're not the victim in this. You made a choice to obstruct somebody's free movement. The person literally drove through cars and 2 pillars to get away from her because she would not leave them alone. She blocked them 3 times. So I'm sorry that it seems that I'm not remorseful. I do apologize if it seems that way. That's not my intentions. Not even a little bit. But I accepted my responsibility, and for her to get up there and lie on the accounts, lie to you, to your face on the accounts. I can't stand by that. I'm sorry.
Okay. I can comment that you sincerely seem not remorseful, so I will note that.
Okay. That's totally fine. That's totally fine.
And Ms. Hooker, you understand that the states indicated they were contemplating filing this as a felony charge.
Yes.
And
that's why I
you could be
accepted. That's why I accepted the charges as is.
right. So you were potentially looking at substantial jail time. You understand that?
Mm.
Yeah, I just find it interesting that in the face of that, you want to come in here and explain why.
No,
Ms. Shorn
I've done.
right. Okay, all right. We're not debating it. I'm just commenting. So
I accepted it. I accepted it. So I accepted the charges.
just so you know, the silence is me considering whether I should not follow the state sentence recommendation and impose something significantly more substantial based on your response to this incident. I'm not impressed by that.
Okay.
All right. I will reluctantly go along with the majority of the sentence, 30 days in custody, 30 days to be served on electronic home monitoring. And I want you to begin serving those 30 days no later than the 15th of May.
The what 15th? Is that what 15th?
15th, 1-5.
Okay.
And your for the next 2 years, you're to have no contact with Ms. Shorn at all. You're not to possess any firearm or other dangerous weapon. You're to have no criminal law violations.
I'm sorry, what was that about firearms?
You're not to possess any firearm.
That's not what I was told by my lawyer.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what you're being told by me, and that's what matters.
For the 2 years?
For the 2 years, you're not to
Okay.
possess any firearms. If you have any firearms, you are ordered to surrender them. And you're to obey the no contact order. You are to provide proof by the 11th of May. Actually, I'll make it the 15th, so we don't have too many different dates. By the 15th of May, that you have had your mental health evaluation and you're complying with any treatment. 50 hours of community service need to be done by the end of this year.
I was told I was given a year because of my.
Like I said, what matters is what I tell you.
And how do I get an extension? Because I do not work because of my disability.
So I've given you till the end of the year. You can get, that's less than 10 hours of community service a month. You can get that done. I'm quite confident. Especially since you don't work. That's plenty of time to go get the community service done.
I don't work because of disability and I have limitations. Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find community service that will be adapted to the limitations that you have. All right, I've signed an order to that effect. And
then how do I resolve
you
the gun issue after my 2 years?
This is not a domestic violence case, so there's not a lifetime ban on possessing firearms. You
said I had to surrender and I wasn't allowed to. So how do I reestablish that? Is it going to be in the court papers?
No, you don't have. You just wait till the end of the 2 years. Then this obligation goes away.
Okay.
And you'll want to get in touch with Mr. Stashevsky so you get a copy of this order. You'll need it to set up the electronic monitoring and to keep track of different dates. Thank you.